Hello and welcome to Laravel 5 Recipes. Throughout this course, we're going to teach you how to become a Laravel web application developer. Laravel has consistently ranked among the fastest growing web frameworks over the past few years. It has all the features you need to build any type of web application you can imagine, plus a whole bunch more. Laravel really is a full-fledged, full-stack framework. It's so much fun to work with. You're gonna love it. Now, I'm going to be your instructor throughout this course. My name is J. Alexander Curtis. Most people just call me Alex. And I've been developing on Laravel since version 3, building web applications on it. I'm passionate about building memorable web applications and web experiences that delight and, most importantly, convert users. I've consulted with companies like Comcast, Expedia, and eBay. I've worked with them to build applications that are better and convert users more efficiently. And then I'd also love it if you guys chat with me on Twitter. I love hearing from my students. You can hit me up over there at _JA Curtis. That's my Twitter handle. And I love hearing from my students and helping you guys out if you get stuck. Now let's talk about the course and what we will be covering throughout this video series. First, we're going to start off by creating a Laravel project, generating the files needed and everything you need to do to get started with Laravel and understanding the way that it works. After that, we'll talk about routes and views. Routes are how we establish SEO-friendly URLs. We'll talk about how to configure those, the different types of routes you can have, everything like that. Then we'll move on to views to create. This is the front end of what the user actually sees, and we can create dynamic HTML and front end experiences there. Finally, we'll talk about databases, how to store and persist data across multiple sessions, storing it in the database, how to maintain the database, and how to retrieve information from the database that was previously stored there. Next, we'll talk about taking our databases to the next level by establishing relationships. Relationships allow us to define a relationship between two different types of information. As an example, you'll have blog posts, which can have comments. So we got to store blog posts, we got to store comments, but we also have to establish a relationship, how a comment belongs to a certain blog post. Next, we'll talk about authentication. This is a super important part. Every web application needs the ability for users to sign up and log in and even reset their passwords, and we'll talk about all of that throughout this course. Now, there are a few prerequisites, so I want to make sure you guys know that going into it. First of all, you do want a basic understanding of PHP for this. You don't need to be a PHP wizard, but Laravel is a PHP framework, so ultimately everything comes down to PHP. You need to know how to do basic method calls and basic functions, managing strings, how to define a variable. Very basic stuff. If you have the basics of PHP down, you'll do good in this course. Of course, you also are building front-end experiences, so HTML and CSS is important as well. If you've built a static front-end website before, you'll have the knowledge you need to continue in this course. We'll talk about making it dynamic, how to use the templating engine, everything like that. So just have a basic understanding of HTML and of course CSS as well. Finally, you need some basic web knowledge. How do HTTP requests work? What's the kind of life cycle of an HTTP request and stuff like that. Just understanding that's going to allow you to speed through this course and get a lot more out of it. Finally, let's talk about what we're going to be building. Throughout this course, I'm a believer on project-focused learning. So we're going to be focusing on one specific project throughout this course. We're going to start where it is basically nothing and then start adding features and building it into an advanced application. Now for this video course, we'll be building something called Laravel Answers. This is a question and answers website, similar to Stack Overflow or Yahoo Answers, allowing users to, of course, establish accounts. Then they can submit questions that they want answered, and then other users on the site will be able to explore those questions, submit the own answers if they know the answer to it, and then eventually mark answers as the correct answer for future visitors that come to our SEO-friendly website. So that's everything we'll be talking about throughout this course. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am to join me along this journey. We'll be starting off in the next video talking about building the foundation of that Laravel app. We'll be establishing the general source code for Laravel, creating our Laravel Answers project with the Laravel source code, and then talking about that source code, where files belong, and how to get started. I'll see you guys there.